Are you a waitaholic? Yes, a waitaholic. A waitaholic. Wow. I was dancing a little bit, doing a little jig there, because I'm here to proclaim good news. There is a cure for your illness and for your disease. There is. There's a cure. You don't have to take small dosage of it. You just need one little shaking and you'll be all better. Promise you, you'll go back to the state that God had intended for you. So, no more waiting. No more waiting. Hey, girl. Okay, so we're going to talk about waiting. We're going to talk about waiting today and being a waitaholic. Yes, wait. W-A-I-T. Hopefully that's not backwards for you, however you're viewing this, but waitaholic. I'm a wait. Just wait. I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to wait. We're going to talk about laziness because there's some people who wait for things to happen out of laziness. Like, you're just lazy. You procrastinating, turning in, a document just because you just don't feel like putting on clothes and going down to the office when you know you need to fill out that document to get your food stamps. Girl, you know your young kids gotta eat. Who can them gotta eat? So get up and go do what you gotta do. Do it. That's your space. Go do it. Or, I just wait to go to the gym. Let me press the snooze button. That's good too. If you're waiting in those ways and those spaces, you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing it. Waiting, sometimes necessary. I know we hear that a lot as well. Let's just wait on the Lord. I'm gonna wait on the Lord. And sometimes God does have us wait. He tell y'all chill out sometimes. You're too impatient, you're too hasty, you're trying to go dart off to the finish line when you're just not ready. Chill. Linda, listen, Linda. Listen, Linda. Just sit, chill, listen. Sometimes it's good to wait in a healthy way. But today we're talking about waitaholics in the sector, in the specific aisle that we're going down. This grocery store is talking about waiting until. I'm gonna wait to do this until this happens. So we're gonna go into definitions first, and then I'll just talk about my experiences with this. Okay. Okay. So wait means, again, W-A-I-T, not weight like lifting weights, but wait. Wait, chill out there, bruh. Wait means to stay where one is, or delay action. Delay is a great word for this too. Delay action until a particular time or until something else happens. Now let me tell you about my experience with this. Yes, I had to close it just like that for dramatic effect because it is dramatic. I was doing the most when I was in these spaces. Some of these spaces are fresh. This ain't something I'm talking to you about that's been like, man, this has been years ago. Nah, he can give me a real quick healing and we're gonna talk about it, okay? But one of the things that I was waiting for with my life, a lot of different things, but the main area that I can talk about is like marriage. Like I'll wait to do this until I get married, and then when I get married, I can do this with my husband and my spouse, or I just want to wait till I get married so I buy this house, or like thinking about scenarios for my life. And maybe you do that too. Maybe you've done it as well, young lady, where you are waiting for an imaginary person that's not even there yet. Even if God's promised you marriage, even if God's promised you the thing that you pinned on your board in your mind and in your heart, I'll wait until this happens. It's still part of your imagination as of today. As of the current date that you're watching this, or the current date that he's speaking to you about this, it's still a future. It's still a figment. It's still a vapor. It's still something that's never happened, or a person that has never presented himself to you or their self to you yet, a friend, family, whatever. But my space was marriage. So one of the things God told me to do 3 years ago, I know it because it's 1, 2, 3, 3 years. 3 years ago, he talked to me about changing my name, like legally my name, like my birth name that was on my birth certificate. He was like, I didn't give you that name. Change it. Remove that from your name. Not the whole thing, but it was like, remove that part. Remove it. That's not the name I gave you. So I removed it. I was excited. Sometimes we get very excited about the idea of something. Okay, cool. Instruction from God. Boom, I'm on it. Let's change his name. I'm booking the appointment. I did the research. I did what I needed to do. I went all the way down to the courthouse. Okay, got to the courthouse, everything that could have went wrong or tried to go wrong was trying to go wrong. I got stopped by a train track. I was stopped by a train. The elevator was broken. I had to climb up like 13 flights of stairs, all to be obedient, which I was being obedient, and change my name. So it was part of me that was compliant to God. There was part of me that was, okay, God, you can work with this part of my heart. You told me to change my name. It's not good. It's the name you gave me. You want me to go by something else, and we are reversing and breaking off curses, and I don't need to be caught. I'm with it. Let's do it. So I did it. I changed my name. I did the process of what I needed to do. First step. That's the main important thing. I got my birth certificate changed. I did all the things that I needed to do. Okay, because legally, once I got that court order, the court signed off on it, just like in heaven. Once I got that court stamp, solid. I'm Gucci. Okay. Done. Did what I needed to do. Pop my little collar on it. That's what I'm done. Okay, I was done. I got my birth certificate changed. My official document changed. It was removed. That name was removed from the document. I was obedient. Pat myself on the back because, again, we know with some flesh in there as well. Because sometimes it is flesh in the midst of obedience, because it was still part of me that was, okay, I didn't go all the way through at that time with everything, because I need to get my social security card changed. I need to get my driver's license changed, and it was other excuses that I came up with. I waited. I was like, well, I'll just change that. I know that I'm gonna get married one day, or I'm hoping that'll be soon. So again, this is just, I'm keeping it 100 with this one. I'm just being honest. So you get what you need to get, okay? And I was like, I'll just wait on this. Like, I just know I'm gonna get married soon, so I'll just wait. I go through the process twice. Like, if I get married, then I can change my documents, the rest of my documents then. And it's just coming up with excuses. But in my heart, it was like, I'll just wait, because marriage is something that I'm thinking about. I was making idol, talking about idol in the series too, out of marriage and husband, and a figment of my imagination that was not even presenting itself there at that time. Whether God had promised me something, if I knew somebody, if I was dating, whatever the case was, it wasn't happening. That's not the space I was in that moment. Like, that's not, it wasn't manifesting itself then. That's not where I was at. God was working on my journey with him and me. It was about us. But I was bringing an imaginary third person into it. Foolishness on my part. I take the L. But he was showing me, even like recently, he was revealing to me, and I had to sit and confess it out of my own mouth, and not just like knowing something, like knowing that I'm doing something, but my heart's, my mind's, like everything in me, my soul had to align with God. Like, hey, God, we're not walking around naive. I'm confessing with all of me that I'm doing this. Like, this is not right. This is not pure when it comes to me and you. This is not the pure space I need to be at. That's going to ultimately help me to grow. Because I'm saying I want to be closer to you, and it's about you. I'm making a lot about a man or a husband or a promise for the future, or again, my imagination, very colorful, based off of like a promise or a word or what I'm holding on to in my heart. Idolatry, just idolatry. And I had to confess to God, like, God, I'm sorry. Like, I disobeyed you, and I didn't fully go through with it. Like, I went through half of what I was supposed to do, half of the instructions. And for me, I thought it counted, but it didn't count. It didn't count to the fullness of what I was supposed to do. And it was probably some things, and I'm probably sure there was some things that were still lingering with that name. Could be like behaviors that were still there attached to it, because I didn't follow through with it completely. I didn't do what I needed to do completely, but the steps of like, change this, go to the court, change your birth certificate, change your driver's license, change every document, don't ever go by that name again, remove it completely. I was only doing part of the work, expecting full of the results in trying to say that I was obedient, but in my heart it was still an idolatry towards like marriage, and I'll just wait until this day. Or even some things he's talked to me about writing certain things. Well, what about my last name being this, or my last name this? Or it was something, as I was getting ready to watch this video, it was something that I wrote on my journal. One of the first, maybe like second journals I had, like big girl journals that I had when I started this whole thing with God. And he talked to me about like writing things out. I was journaling heavily at that time. I was journaling, writing things out. I was writing. And he had confronted me about this very same issue. It probably was something else, but again, it's the same root of what we're talking about. And he had me write down, you are still, I wrote down my full name, first name, middle name, last name, my name. He said, this is, you are still this person. You're not dot, 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 exclamation mark, Miss Johnson or Williamson or whatever last name. He said, but you were still this person. So don't be in this space where he was in just like telling me, I have that journal somewhere and stored somewhere, but he was telling me that day, like years ago, said, this is still who you are. So chill, stay in this space. This is who you are. You're not this person with the last name. And this could be for ladies who are still single, ladies who, wherever you at, you can be married and be having this mentality about like idolatry in your spouse and doing everything together with your spouse. You know, on TikTok, Instagram, wherever, social media, there's a thing about people doing everything with their spouse. And I'm not married, so that's what you do, that's what you do. But it's like they can't even like not take showers together. Like they have to take showers together. They can't breathe without being in the same midst of this person. And it's like them and that person attached at the hip. But God was having me to reveal again, if that's your space, if you married and that's healthy for you, cool. I'm not knocking that because again, that's not my space to comment about what you got going on. But he was showing me that in a space of like, that's unhealthy, that you could be in that space unhealthy for me, of wanting to attach everything with that person, not wanting to detach who you are and your identity from a person, a best friend, or a place, a job title, whatever the case is. Like you're meshing something onto your identity. So he was showing that to me recently. I'm like, the person who was saying it, the person who was saying again, that's your space. If you like to scratch your partner's back, girl, do you, girl? It must be nice. It must be nice. But for real though, if it's healthy, that's amazing. That's a beautiful space to be. But he was saying that like some of the people who I was watching was like, this is unhealthy. Like the person who was watching it was saying it. He was like, this is unhealthy. But you have to detach it. Like your identity is not in another person. It's not in, again, a best friend. It's not in that promotion that you're gonna get at your job. So I'm rewinding it back to say about, I was being a holic. I was waiting until this happened and for me to be obedient to God. What? Ugh. Sounds very ugly. But it's the truth. Like that is my truth that I'm dropping for today. But I was doing those things up until this day that I had to recently, like, okay, I repent. Like, nah. The scales was off my eyes fully. And again, sometimes you can know something and God can talk to you about the same stuff, but you just walking around choosing to like, I'm not gonna let that one penetrate. I'm like, nah. If we're gonna do this thing 100%, let's do it 100%. Let's be at 100. We're not gonna be on 75 or 80 or just enough. Like, let's get all of the cleansing and healing that we need to do this for the right reasons. Like, I just want to be obedient to you, God, because you're my daddy and I love you. Like, I want what's for me. And I don't want to wait or delay life to get it or to obtain it if you have something for me today. So use that as a reference. Girl, what dropped? I don't know. Use that as a reference, ladies, to figure out if you've ever waited for something unnecessarily. And I'm not talking about, I'm waiting on God, I'm waiting in a good space. No, I'm talking about, have you ever waited for something that, what if God told you to buy a house, but you don't want to wait because that's another thing too. I want to do it when I get married, or when I buy this car, like when I have like this business partner, or I'm not going to release this book until like I get published by a big company. Like you waiting for stuff when God's telling you just to do it now. What if he wants you to publish your book on Amazon directly, or if he wants you to publish it with this non-name brand publisher, if he wants you to start a company with, that you're making out of your garage, your t-shirts, but you want to wait until you got the best pressing machine. I want to wait till I have the best setup for like my videos, or like the best whatever. I'll wait until this happens. And again, it could be with marriage, it could be with creating content, it could be with whatever, making cupcakes. And you're waiting until, I wait until I get more followers. I'll wait. Stop it, because you're delaying yourself. You're delaying yourself. Who got time for a delay? I don't. I don't. Not even unless it's, I don't. I was trying to justify it and bob and weave it and tie it together, but girl, no, I don't. I got time for no more delays. Like, not something that is like avoidable. So now, That's my truth for today. I don't mind slapping myself up on front of camera and confessing some stuff that I've done, or it could be recent stuff that he showed me. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. Yes, just to talk and to share. Yeah. So that's all I wanted to share today, and just say, like, you don't have to be a holic anymore. It's not cute. Now, God's telling you to wait and you're just too antsy. You need to chill out and sit down. That's something that's different. But don't wait and delay yourself just because you're an imaginary thing, person, place, or just don't do it. Okay? Well, all right then. I'm gonna pick up what I dropped. Okay, I'm gonna just pick it up real quick. Okay.